Hello friends, welcome to NSK tutorial. In this session, we'll see how to create a Spring Boot Hello World application. Spring Boot Hello World Small API Service. For this, I am using Spring Tool Suite is the workbench. Once we have opened this workbench, it will be like this, and go to the file. Here we have a menu called New. Then click on the Spring Starter project. Once we click on the Spring Starter project, there will be one pop-up will get appear. Here we have to add the name called Hello World REST API. The name we have to add Hello World REST API, and the type is Maven, and the package we are making it as jar, and the version is 8, and language is Java. And the group name we have to select as com.nsk.tutorials, and the artifact id is also same as project name, and package is group id, and this is the package com.nsk.tutorials. Once this is done, once we have filled all the columns with the proper data, then click on the next. Once we click on the next, we have to select the dependencies. To write a simple hello world API service, if we want to display simple hello world on the browser, we don't need much complicated. We need simple dependency. That is, one is Spring Web and Spring Boot DevTools. So if required, we can add H2 database. Once this is done, then click on next. Once this is done, here the base URL is this, and it will get the full URL. From this URL, it is downloading all the dependencies. Then click on the finish. Once we have done, here it is getting imported and built. It has been built, and once it has built, the project structure will be like this. The project structure is, we have a source folder with Java and the source main with resources. There will have the resources folder, and in resources folder we have application.properties. If anything is, if we want to mention our properties for this API, that we can mention here. And here, this is the place where we have to write our complete code. This is the main class which we have to run to bring up the application, bring up the service. This class always annotate with the Spring Boot application. And we have the pom.xml. In pom.xml, if you see whatever we have created, the parent tag always will be the Spring Boot starter parent. Whatever version we have mentioned here, this version will be applicable to all these dependencies whatever we have added. The starter web will be 2.5. In the parent tag, if we mention this version, this parent tag will circulate that version to the child tags. These are the child tags. These are the child tags, and these are the child tag. For child tag, if we mention the version in the parent tag, no need to mention the version in the child tags. Like child tags are Spring Boot Starter Web, and Spring Boot DevTools, and H2 database, and this is for the testing. This is our project structure. If we want to create a Docker image, if we want to build the API, that we have to add some more extra code here, some more extra tag to build the APIs. That will check in the next sessions. Once, see, if you check the group ID, we have whatever we have selected, that group ID has created, and the artifact ID is the name of the project, and the name is this one. Name of the project is Hello World REST API, and description is this, and the version of Java is 1.8. Once we this is clear, right, to pom.xml. Once we have done with the pom.xml, let's go to the implementation. Let's write a small controller class. From there we can invoke the hello world method to display to get the hello world text to display in the browser. Let's click on the new class. That class should be part of controller. Let me controller, and the class name should be hello world controller. Then once we have done this, click on the finish. And this is our controller class. This controller class always has to be annotated with the rest controller. See, then here we have to write a method to return return the hello world. What are the things we required to write a method? First one is method name, and then that method name should annotate with the get annotation, get mapping annotation, because when we invoke the endpoint we need to get the data. That's why we have to invoke the get mapping, means we need to get it. That's why we have to go with the get mapping. Then next, and we have to return what type of value we need to return, the string type of value we need to return, the return type string. And then the invocation URL, what endpoint we need to invoke, the endpoint will be hello. This is the endpoint. Let's convert this into the method. Public string is my return type, and hello is the method. This hello method should return hello world, and this should be annotated with the get mapping. And what is the endpoint has to be invoked? Hello. This should be in double quotes. Sorry. That's it. That's it. See, we have created one small method. That method is returning hello world, and this method has annotated with the get mapping, and this is the endpoint. Once we have done this, let's invoke the service. To invoke the service, we need to go to application, that property application class. From here, right click and run as Spring Boot application. Oh, there is some error. The error is web server failed to start. Port 8080 was already in use. The 8080 is already in use. So what we can do is we have the application.properties. Here we'll go and mention our own port. So once we run the application, then it will deploy this service on that specific port. What is the property we have to use to set the port? Server dot port is equal to 9090. I will mention it as 9090. Okay, let's clear this log. Let's go to the application and run as Spring Boot. See, let's open the console. This Spring Tomcat started on port 9090 and started hello work rest hello world. Sorry, I did the typo mistake. Hello World REST API application in 1.017 seconds. Let me correct this typo mistake. Hello World. Let's change this. Hello World. Okay, that's it. Once we have done, it has done the auto deployment. So go to the browser. Where is the browser? This is the browser, and we have already localhost colon 9090 hello world. Let me copy this, close this one, paste, execute. See, when we have executed localhost colon 9090 port, it has deployed, and the endpoint what we have invoked is hello/hello. So it has hit that service and it has get the hello world response. That's it, friends. It is very easy. Please practice. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe.